Stop acting rich. You are not. You're hurting your pocket. I know you're struggling to tell people that you are successful. I know there are some enemies somewhere to prove that indeed God has blessed you. But you're doing it too early. Stop acting rich. That is exactly what is affecting your life. Have you ever heard of a term called lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation. This simply means you upgrade your lifestyle based on how the salary is increasing. There was a time probably you were earning 5,000. Probably that was your first salary. And you are so happy about this salary, isn't it? Of course, you were struggling with money. You are wishing if you could get at least 7,000, 2,000 on top of this. Then all of a sudden, by you working hard or by fate or by God's blessing, you got yourself at 10K. You are still struggling. You got yourself at 20K. You are still struggling. Right now, say you are at 30. You might be 100. You might be 200K. But the same problem that you are facing when you are at your 5,000 are the same problem that you're facing at your 100K and above. Why? Lifestyle inflation. Why? You are inflating your lifestyle based on what you are earning. For example, say at 10K, you are living in a single room. You got you to your 30, you're looking for one bedroom. What could have happened if you were to maintain a little bit of the lifestyle here with this kind of a salary? Then you have a difference of 20. You invest this money. Sure, I know, be like, Joseph, but we're looking money for all that. True. But how about you delay the gratification, then you do that later? What would happen? Okay, you get yourself 100K in a month. Well, I know probably you may not walk around telling people that you earn 100, but you want them to see the signs that you're earning 100. That's why you have to migrate from where you are living when you're earning at 50,000. You go live in a different suburb area because, when you are getting out of that particular place, you want people to see that indeed you're living there. Therefore, they can associate you with where you are living and try to guess how much you might be making. So you're living a life where you are proving things to people that indeed you're successful. I know what you might say on the comment section, but I'm doing it that for myself, indeed at the expense of minding what other people are saying. That is not what you're doing. And if it's truly you're doing it by yourself or for yourself, then you are the enemy to yourself. Why? Because you are acting rich. We aren't in a competition to prove who is wealthier than the other. True. And by the way, don't brag with things that are consumables. If you want to brag to us, fine, go brag with the parcels of lands and properties and the bond certificate that you have after investing and what have you, the number of stocks that you have. Listen, stop acting rich. This is affecting a lot of people, especially the middle incomers. Middle incomers in any given country, and that's why they are taxed more. Why? Because they are the consumers. Are we together? So stop acting rich. You are not in a competition with anybody. And let me tell you one thing. There is somebody whom I love a lot that has written the book called The Psychology of Money. He's called the Morgan Housel. He says that the most expensive check or the best check that you can ever hand over to yourself is the check of living a lifestyle that you don't have to prove anything to anybody. I hope I've got it out in a right way. So the reality is, live a lifestyle that indeed it's you who matters, and indeed it's you're doing something, you're justifying yourself why you are doing that. And of course, you have some lifestyle. You have the future. You have a whole future ahead of you. Sure, I may not assure you that you'll be there in the life of, or rather, not really the life after that, but you should be there. Say in 10 or 15 or 20 years, one day. Don't live as if you're just living once and then you're done. No, no, please. This issue of acting rich is where you're struggling to go buy, even if it's a fake Gucci. You know, walk with it around and just to prove to people that indeed you're wearing Gucci. It's not even a real one. Why would you be just a billboard walking around? What would happen if you get a salary increment but you still maintain the lifestyle? That increment, that surplus, that difference that you've gotten. So how about if you were to channel that money towards an investment? But now you wouldn't do that. Why? Because there is a certain enemy somewhere to prove wrong. There is a certain anchor of viewers who told you you'll never make it in life. You are there trying to show that the anchor of viewers, you are doing good in life. And then there you are, you think that you need a car, but you want it. You end up buying that particular car, yet your salaries, your financial muscles cannot allow you to own that car. Well, for now, or as of now. Sure, you can own it later, but as of now, you cannot do that. Let me tell you one secret. Let's be sincere. The moment you engage yourself in some things without you having the financial know-how, without you knowing exactly where you are heading, that is exactly how you shoot your foot. And guess what happens now? Because the middle incomers are the people who complain much about the government. Why? Because you end up not having a very good, for example, I had a client who was earning around 94,000. Yeah, after the deductions, 94,000. That guy was living in a house worth 30,000. You can do the bills, that is the utilities, the water, the electricity, the Wi-Fi, you can do the lifestyle. That guy was saving close to nothing, 10,000, 15,000. And then I had another client who was earning 30,000. That guy was saving close to 10,000, around 7-ish, 8-ish thousand there. Just look at the lifestyle of these two people. And then I asked that the gentleman, why are you living in this particular place where you're paying all this rent? Yet there is somewhere else where probably you can even pay, say, 10, rather 15,000 or say 18,000. You save a whooping 12,000. But the guy was saying, hey, you know what? This is good areas. This is not the time to look for fun. This is not time to enjoy yourself. This is not the time for fun. It's the time to build. I'm a believer. My Bible tells me that it's time for everything. This is the time to build. This is not the time to enjoy. This is not the time to entertain yourself. It is the time to build. Once you build, you'd rather appear as if you're a fool, but you're not, rather than appear as if you're wise, but you're a fool. Okay, I asked the guy, well, if you knew that you were doing everything okay, why then did you invite me? Why did you call me for this session? He told me, then I realized I'm not saving anything. Yes, you are not. You can't. And you will not save anything because whatever the lifestyle that you're having, it is not okay. It's not making you to save anything. You're earning 95,000, 30,000 is gone. You are left with 64,000. 5,000 goes with the utilities, the water, electricity, and water view. You add Wi-Fi there, probably 8,000 is gone. You put the groceries there. Another, say, like 25,000 is gone. How much are you left with? You do the clothing because you're a human being. You do the transport. You don't have a car. Sure, you do the transport. Black tax. Some people are calling you back at home. You'll be left with nothing. Then you're wondering what's going on. It is because of the lifestyle. It's not the time to enjoy. And I don't know, there is this kind of a character we have in Kenya. The moment someone earns 100K, everything shifts. You think it's the high time to get a car. You think it's the high time to, go ahead and, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that car is ultimately bad. No, it's not. But it's good to know when you're getting it. The timing is what matters a lot. You see, when I see people, sure, I know everyone is their own money and you have to do whatever you would like to do with your money for sure. I'm only sharing for those who be a bit cautious on what they're doing. So this issue of acting rich and what appear wealthy, doing good in life, in the sense of proving something to people, you really don't have to do all these things. Truly, you don't have to do these things. You can simply, stay put, invest, grow yourself, propagate yourself to the next level, try to minimize, create the surplus, invest the surplus, delay the gratification, fatten your cow. And once you fatten your cow, see those luxuries and those nice things that you'd love to, floss with and, show people that you're doing good financially and what have you. Those should be achieved by the virtue of you having passive income. Listen, there are two types of income, and I've been sharing this for like years, yeah? We have the active income. This is what you actually trade your time, skills, and energy to get. Then we have what we call the passive income. This passive income is the money that comes in without you doing almost nothing. It is the money making money for you. Now, that money that has been made by your money is what now you use to consume on purchasing the consumables, the fund, and what have you. But now the moment you kill your income, because your income is the primary money that you can use to build your future. Nobody pays you to be wealthy. Nobody is in a business. Nobody is actually seated in a boardroom somewhere thinking how you as John, you as Mercy, you can become wealthy. Nobody cares. That's a reality. Nobody cares. So stop acting rich. You're broke. That income that you're getting, you should actually channel that money towards building your future, towards building assets that are bringing in more money. And that more money that has been brought by the assets is what you use excuse me, to actually invest on what, or rather buy those those things that you'd like to. Now, what happens is that you're supposed to understand what comes when and what goes where, because the moment you have a cash flow, and of course the system that you have in place is consuming all the cash flow that you're having, and then you don't have an outlet, guess what happens now? You're going to clog. You're going to have an issue. You're going to have a problem with your money. And then you'll be wondering and be like, you know what? I see people investing. I wonder where they get the money to invest. Actually, people doing something great for their lives. I wonder what they usually do. Of course, you will wonder. Why? Because you don't have any positive cash flow that is coming out of your pocket. And that is a problem. That's the problem that you're facing, especially with the middle incomers. Middle incomers, they're actually being faced by this particular issue. So it is good when you make sure that at least you understand what goes where. Number two, you tend to think that people cares on how you look. People don't. You know, you tend to work with this kind of spotlight effect on top of you and thinking like everyone is actually has switched off from whatever they are doing. Now they are looking at you. Now you are the point of interest and everyone is looking at you, how you are living and how you're dressing and what. Listen, sure, you may think like they are doing that. I used to have that issue. I used to think like everyone cares about how I look and what I do until I did not. Until I realized that they don't. By the way, they have too much things to care about their lives. And this is an example I love to give, and I was given by my mentor. Can you imagine buying a car with a debt? And of course, you know you may not really afford that particular debt. Then you pull up to your or pull over to your friends, and they are so happy. Oh my goodness! Guess what they will do? They'll be wow, 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 wow. You know, they're so scared that you bought a car, and some of them are happy, some of them. But the fact is that they are astonished, isn't it? That is what you're looking for, isn't it? And then after that, after wow, 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 they just go ahead and concentrate on their own things. Then you are left with you paying your debt for that particular car, I don't know, for the next 2 years. And you're struggling a lot. You've actually done what? You've constricted your cash flow. Now you're there struggling. You see, what happens, sure, I buy that car. I love cars, by the way. I don't think you love car more than I do. Anyway, just say, but truly I do love cars. But now, you look at it from the point of where you are purchasing it, the timing, is it appropriate? Is it the right one? Should you go ahead and do that particular thing rather than just hurrying and achieving something, then later you start regretting? That's why if you go to auctions, you find that the cars have been repossessed. I was actually watching that show on TikTok and YouTube as well, cars that has been repossessed. You look, there's some Beamer there, there's some heavy SUVs, and you're like, oh my goodness, what was going on here? That guy purchased that particular car and things went south. Now that's a big issue. That's a big problem. So please, nobody cares. That's the first place. Number two, you are broke. Please work on your finances first. Work on your assets. Then you can use that what the assets are giving you to buy that what you would like to admire. And then lastly, please make sure that at least don't punch above your weight. If you punch above your weight, you ain't gonna survive that particular thing. So stay put. Make sure that you know where your money is going. Channel your money in appropriate places. That way is how you achieve what we call the financial freedom. Financial freedom is not actually bringing your future today and destroying it in the name of, hey, I'm enjoying, and then the next minute you're struggling. And that's why you find some people get depression. Why? There is a certain lifestyle that you had given yourself. You cannot afford it. Guess what happens now? You wonder what people actually will say because now you're becoming broke. Please be careful. This is Good Joseph. In case you need my services, go ahead and grab that number of mine. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.